Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another vlog. So it is Monday and today marks the first day of Zach's very last week in primary school. I'm trying not to think about it too much. I'm trying to stop myself from thinking about it too much until at least Friday, because I don't want to be a blubbering mess all week. And I know it's silly, I know it is, because you know it's not like he's moving out or anything, but it's a huge rite of passage finishing primary school. It's just a massive marker of how old he's getting, and I'm a little bit emotional about it, I'm not gonna lie. The boys thought I was being silly this morning, just walking him to school, knowing that it would be the last ever Monday that I walk Zach to primary school. Anyway, like I said, gonna try and not to think about it, just so that I don't end up a wreck all week. So in my last vlog, I mentioned I'd yet to show you my new heated air. It's not so new anymore, I've had it for about a month. And honestly, it has been a lifesaver. We do not have room for a tumble dryer in this house, so having an airer really was our only option. Either that or going to like a laundromat or a laundrette. But I like to be able to dry our clothes in the house. I go through a load of washing every single day, so I really didn't want to have to lug all that washing to a laundrette. So this is the one I chose. It is the brand U10. The brand was recommended to me by my brother and sister-in-law. They have the same one, and this is I'm not sure if you can hear Avery, she's talking. This is a 1.5 kilowatt, I believe. Now, don't get me wrong, it is not a tumble dryer. It doesn't dry clothes as fast as a tumble dryer. I would probably say I can get a load of washing dry in this, like a full load of washing dry in this, in about 4 to 5 hours. So probably comparable to what it would be like outside on the line. So on the inside, it just has it has two layers, one up top and then one in the middle there, and then each layer has the three poles. Usually what I do is put clothes on hangers and then hang them on the middle pole, and then if I've got bigger things like towels to dry, I will hang them over the poles themselves. Down there is the actual unit, so you can actually buy these without the cover, but really they're just not as effective. So down there is the unit. That is kind of what blows hot air into this, and usually what I do when I have this on is I actually wheel it into the bathroom. It is on casters luckily, so I will wheel it into the bathroom, open the window in there, shut the door, just so that it doesn't get too damp up here. That is what I'm trying to avoid, but I'm really happy with it. It just gives me the option to actually be able to dry the clothes inside when we have a wet weather day like we do today. So I will end up making use of this today. So this one is actually from Amazon. You can buy them on eBay as well, and I think you can get it in a really like a dark navy blue colour as well for the cover. I went for grey just because I feel like it ties in with the house a little bit better. They didn't have grey on eBay, which is why I ended up buying it on Amazon, but like I said, I will link it down below if you are interested. So I am gonna do a little bit of baking today. I am going to make a cake that I've kind of come up with, and I want to give it a bake. As you guys know, I've had a little bit of a flair for baking. By the way, sorry about the washing machine, it is on, which is why you can hear it, but I've had a little bit of a flair for baking since we've moved here, and one of my brother and sister-in-law's friends have actually asked me to make a cake, a birthday cake this month. So I want to get a little bit of practice in. So I've come up with this combination and I want to give it a go for a couple of reasons really. Like I said, number one, I want to get the practice in. Number two, I ended up treating myself to a few new baking supplies and I really want to kind of try them out. I have ordered a new turntable because mine is quite, it sticks quite a lot and it's quite annoying, so I really want to test it out. And also, when on like cake groups on Facebook and whatnot, a lot of the cake bakers talk about using stork for their cakes. Now, I wouldn't use stork for buttercream and things like that. However, I really want to try out what making an actual like cake, what making the sponge is like with stork, because I'm not gonna lie, I've not used margarine in a cake since probably I was a child. I've always used unsalted butter and it's quite expensive. I love to bake, but it is quite expensive. The butter is probably one of the most expensive parts next to the eggs. So I just want to give it a go and I want to try it out before I make a cake for somebody else, just to make sure the flavour's still nice, the texture's still nice, and it still kind of rises the same way. So I'm going to give it a go, and the cake I'm actually going to be making is, I've called it cookies and cream. So it is a chocolate sponge cake, and then it is a crushed up Oreo filled buttercream. and then I'm gonna decorate it with Oreos as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it turns out like. I'm only gonna make it as a 6-inch. I just wanted to make it as small as possible just so that I could test out my new stuff. The turntable should be coming today. Today I'm just going to bake the cake layers because that is what I'd normally do. Bake the cake layers the day before just so that they have time to cool completely and not be so crumbly when I kind of level them and whatnot. So I'm not going to take you into too much detail on the sponge. You've seen me make a chocolate sponge more than once. So it's exactly the same way. 5 ingredients: flour, eggs, butter, caster sugar and cocoa powder. And it's fairly quick to make. I am going to use my stand mixer. However, I mentioned in my last video that I did finally bite the bullet and invest in a hand mixer as well. I say invest, this was probably one of the more affordable ones on Amazon. And it does the job. It's a Kenwood one. It just comes with the regular kind of whisk attachments that hand mixers usually come with. I know you can get ones now that come with all sorts of different attachments, but I just wanted something really basic. If I don't want to get my stand mixer out, I could just use this. I am going to get my stand mixer out for the sponges. I like to use my stand mixer for sponges because I like to leave the butter and sugar to whisk for quite a long time because it gets it really, really light and fluffy. It goes almost like a mousse texture, which is what I like in a cake because it helps it rise, it creates more volume, which then makes a taller sponge. So I'm going to use my stand mixer and crack on making this sponge really quickly. It should not take me long at all. And then by the time the sponge is done in the oven, my washing should be finished, and then I can pop all of that in the airer. Just finishing up little Missy's lunch. She actually had roast today. So we had a roast for dinner yesterday and I did a little plate up for Avery and blended it up, and she's having it for her lunch today. So what I usually do when I syringe feed Avery blends is I'll fill up a 60ml syringe with the blend. I'll slowly push through about 20ml and then I will leave her for about 5 minutes or so and then repeat really until it's all gone. She seems to tolerate that quite well. She's at the very end of it now, so she's getting quite frustrated at being in the chair. It does take a bit longer than like her usual pump feed, but I don't mind that because it is thicker, it's more dense. I don't want to throw in any of it up, but she's been tolerating it well, haven't you, Pudding Pot? So I'm just flushing it through with her usual water now. I do make sure that whatever I'm giving her in a blend, I'm still giving her the same amount of fluid, if not more, just so that she doesn't get dehydrated. Her lips have been a little bit dry recently. Yes, they have. And she's also getting a little bit of dry skin in her eyebrows. I don't understand why though, because we've actually increased her fluids. So not too sure what that is about. But yeah, she's doing really well with the blends that I have been giving her. Still kind of doing the same thing. It's kind of just as and when I have something that I think is going to be good for her, or you know, we've made dinner and she can have some, that kind of thing. Today I think I'm actually going to make a lasagna for dinner. I'm going to do the Nigella Lawson method, not the whole recipe. I'm going to do the method for her Capri and lasagna, but I'm just going to make it like a regular... Oh, it's okay, we're nearly finished. I'm just going to make it like a regular lasagna. I'm not going to use eggs or ham or anything. I am just going to use a simple bechamel sauce instead, but I really liked the way it was really I really liked the way it was really layered in the Nigella Lawson recipe, and I liked the way the top looked, and it was just really good. So I'm going to try the kind of method, but with a more traditional lasagna recipe for dinner, and that is something that Avery can have. I know there's always lots of leftovers from that lasagna because it's quite big and, like I said, lots and lots of layers. So that'll be a really good meal for Avery to have, and if there's more than one portion left for her, then I'll put aside a couple of portions, and that is her lunch then for a couple of days, which will be nice. But so far this way seems to be working well enough for us, and Avery's tolerating it well, which is good, isn't it, Pudding? But I will just wind her now, just make sure none of it's sitting on her stomach funny so that she doesn't throw it up. I am a little bit more apprehensive when I give her a blend, just in case she throws it up. Not that she normally throws up, but I don't know, I want it to work out this time. So I do everything I can just to make sure it's gonna stay down and you're not going to throw it up, and it's not going to give her a tummy ache or anything like that. So my cake goodies have just arrived from Amazon. So I actually ordered a box set. So I was looking at all of the cake turners, and a lot of the ones that I was seeing that were sort of £30 plus also came in a kit, which was a really similar price, and you got a load of extra bits in with it. This one in particular I found on offer, and honestly I was just looking for the best deals. The main thing that I wanted was the cake turner. The rest were just kind of added bonuses because the cake turners on their own were kind of similar prices anyway. So straight off the bat, this is way heavier duty than the one I have. I am just gonna take off all of the bubble wrap just to see what it's like. That is way smoother than the one I have now. So it has a non-stick bottom, which is also different to the one I have now. The one I have now is a really basic plastic one. I mean, you guys have probably seen it in tons of my videos, but when I'm turning cake, it kind of sticks, so I have to kind of manually move it, which does the job, but I just figured it was time to upgrade and make my life a little bit easier when I'm making a cake. So I'm really pleased with that actually, and yeah, just seems a lot better quality than the one I have now. So like I said, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to what else came in this kit, to be honest, because the main thing I was looking for was the turner. So I'm going to dig into this box and see what I've actually got. So it comes with this little leaflet slash manual. So it's essentially like a little guide to piping nozzles. So this kit does come with a selection of piping nozzles, and it just kind of shows you what kind of shapes and decorations you can get from each nozzle. I think this is just what this particular brand supplies. You do not get all of these nozzles in this one kit, but it does come with a nice little selection, and here they are. It also comes with piping bags, which is nice. I do already have a load of piping bags, and I'm pretty sure I've got more coming in the post, but you can never have too many piping bags because, well, me in particular, I go through them like crazy. I like to use piping bags to fill cakes. I do like to use them to frost cakes now and again. I use them for drips. I use them for like writing like chocolate words and stuff. I use them quite a lot, and they always come in handy. Piping bags are also good for filling other kind of desserts like profiteroles and eclairs and choux buns, donuts, things like that. Not that I've ever delved into the world of donut making yet. I might have to try that one day, but I think you have to use a lot of oil in your pan, and that's what kind of puts me off. It also comes with this, which is pretty cool because I've not had one of these before, and it might actually come in really handy. It essentially goes onto the piping bag, so this bit I think goes inside the piping bag, and then this bit goes on the outside where the nozzle is, and then you screw it up and it just stops any leakage coming out of the piping bag, so that's handy. And these are the piping tips that this little set came with. The first one is this one. This, I've not actually had one of these before, but this is for, like I was just talking about, filling things like donuts and profiteroles and chocolate eclairs and things like that. So handy to have because I've not actually had one of those before. And then it just comes with a selection of lots of different other piping tips. I have a few, like I think I've got 2 or 3 metal ones, the rest are all plastic. So it might be nice to just kind of get rid of the plastic ones and upgrade to these. It looks like there's a pretty decent selection for all of the things that I might want to use them for. Also comes with a couple of palette knives, a flat palette knife and a stepped palette knife. I do have a palette knife and a stepped palette knife actually, however, the palette knife I have, the stepped one, which is the one I use for most of my cakes, is actually a lot smaller than the one that's come in this kit, which is actually nice because this will be more handy for bigger cakes. And then the flat palette knife I have is a lot bigger than this one. So I did see those when I was buying it. I thought to myself, they're going to be useless, I already have them, but actually they're completely different sizes to the one I have, so that is pretty cool. Also comes with this, which I didn't see in the listing, but I assume this is a cake board. By the looks of it, you can kind of customize it to whatever size you want. Sorry, my throat just went really dry all of a sudden. By the looks of it though, that is only a single use one. It is cardboard, so I wouldn't use it more than once. This is another thing that I didn't see in the listing, but this is a quite cute little set of cake scrapers. I have my trusty cake scraper from Temu that I like to use, my metal one, but these could potentially come in handy. They have different shaped ones. I'm not sure how well you can see, but that would potentially come in handy if I was going to make maybe like a line detail in a cake or something. I'm sure they'll come in handy at some point. And then it also comes with cake leveler. Again, I have my cake leveler. I have my cake leveler from Temu. This one's slightly different. This one actually has a bit of a serrated wire, whereas my one from Temu doesn't. The other thing I've noticed about this one, which may be handy, is the wire actually comes up a bit further. The one I have from Temu, as much as I really like it, I can only actually kind of half the cakes with it. I can't level a full-size sponge unless I cut it in half first because it doesn't go tall enough. This one will. I have just checked it against the sponges that I made earlier, and this wire on the setting that it is on now is taller than those cakes, which means I can actually use this to level and half, which is great. So, quite happy with that little kit. Like I said, the main thing that I wanted it for was the cake turner, and I'm happy with the cake turner. The rest was just a bonus. I'm gonna have to go now because I need a drink of water. My throat has gone really, really itchy all of a sudden. Morning guys, kitchen is a bit of a mess because as you've seen I have been finishing off the cake this morning. Avery is a bit whingy because number one, she's tired, she has just had an hour of physio, and number two, she's hungry, so she's having lasagna for her lunch, and this is the one I made last night. It's looking a bit worse for wear now because it's been heated up, so it's kind of gone a little bit sloppy, but I've heated it up first and now I'm going to blend it if I can actually get it out of the jug. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of milk in here to start with. There is milk in with the lasagna because of the bechamel sauce, so I know it goes okay and it's not going to make it go all weird. And then I'm going to blend this up and then see how thick it is, and I will add water if I need to, figure out how much I have in terms of volume, and then figure out how much she needs in flushes to make sure she's still getting enough hydration. So Avery's physio appointment went pretty well. She's still just trying to kind of gauge what Avery's like, what her patterns are like, what her tone's like. We made some minor adjustments to her sleep system. I talked to her about all the things that I was concerned about with Avery, and just all of the things that kind of make up what her patterns are and what her dystonia is like and her tone and so on. But all in all, it went quite well. I do think it tired her out though. She's tolerating her food well. She's been in her chair for a little while now, so she is starting to get a little bit fussy. This is her 3rd syringe. I am probably going to just water down the last syringe with some of her usual feed, just to top up her calories a little bit, just because I think with kind of all of the wastage that I had, all the blend that kind of stuck to the jug that I can't get out, she might have lost a little bit, so I just want to top her up. That is my phone ringing. My efforts of trying to not get too emotional this week over Zach being in his last week of primary school, it just keeps getting harder and harder, guys, because the teachers keep doing these really sweet and considerate things, and it's making me really emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I had a little bit of a cry yesterday afternoon, and Zach did make fun of me, but he came home with this. What's that for, Din? He came home with this, and it doesn't look like much. It's a little bag full of random bits and bobs, but there's a little note talking about what is inside it. And inside it, there is a crayon, because you have a bright future ahead of you. An elastic band to help you stretch your mind. A flower to help you grow and bloom. A paper clip to help you hold everything together. A balloon to reach for the sky and soar. A toy soldier, be brave, this is an exciting new adventure. Cotton wool, there will always be comfort around you when you need it. A star to remind you to always do your best. Love hearts, never forget how much you're loved. And a smiley man, keep on smiling and have fun. How sweet is that? Like, what an adorable little sentimental gift. Now, Zach just wanted to get it all out and fiddle with all the little bits and bobs, but I told him he had to keep it together just for a little while because it was just so sweet. Now, if that didn't make me emotional in itself, he also came home with some other bits and bobs. So they've made these for the children, and it's just like lots of words and Zach's name, and it's all in the shape of a graduation cap, which I don't know why this makes me emotional. I think it's just the thought of a graduation cap. He's graduating primary school. And then also, I'm not going to show you this because it's got the other children's names on it, but the teachers actually wrote a poem for all of the children. Like, each verse is for each of the children. I think that is so incredibly adorable. Let me read the bits that I can read. So this is Zachary's little verse. Zachary, our artist, our newest member of the class, you've been such a pleasure to teach. Your talents shine like polished glass. And then at the very end it says, Dear Year 6, as you depart, thank you all from the heart for memories made and lessons true. Year 6, we will miss all of you. And then he came home with his school report, and I don't know, even his school report was making me emotional. This wasn't like a leavers thing. Everyone got their school reports yesterday, apart from Eli because he hasn't been there long enough, but there was just part of it that made me well up as well. This is actually what made me cry, and this is what made Zach make fun of me. It's a little note to Zach, and it says, Zach, I'm very proud of what you've achieved during your time in Year 6. I know you're proud too. You thoroughly enjoyed the Year 6 leavers trip to the Adventure Centre, and your smile on the kayak was priceless. I wish you all the best in your next chapter in your new school. They are lucky to have you. I look forward to hearing about what you achieve in the years to come. I have no doubt that whatever path you choose will be a successful one. Goodbye and good luck. Honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why it's making me emotional. But the teachers have just got to stop being so sweet, because I'm going to end up being a blubbering mess by the end of this week. I'm trying to think of something I can do, or something I can make, or something like that, as a little treat for Zach at the end of the week, just to say, you know, well done for finishing primary school. Oh, I'm super emotional, isn't it, Pudding? Please let me know, guys, if any of you have a little one that is in year 6 at the moment and you are also feeling the same way, or even you have a child in year 11 maybe and they're finishing secondary school, or maybe they're in their last year of college or the last year of university, just reaching a big kind of milestone, a big rite of passage, and you're really feeling it this week, please let me know so that I don't feel so alone in this, because honestly I feel a bit stupid being so emotional about it. I'm sure I will feel the same way when it happens with Eli. I'm sure I'll feel the same way in a few years time with Eli, but I think it stings more because this is my first child. It's my oldest baby and he's definitely making me feel old. But yeah, very, very, very emotional. I'm gonna finish off feeding little madam, and I will show you the cake. I mean, you will have seen it in the b-roll, but I will show you it properly. And here is the cake. So I'm calling this my cookies and cream cake. Chocolate sponge and Russian buttercream with crushed up Oreos in it, decorated with Oreos of course. I've been enjoying making Russian buttercream recently. I think it tastes really creamy, definitely not as sweet as like a traditional frosting, but it's made with just butter and condensed milk, so really, really simple to make. I also saved the offcuts with some leftover buttercream for a little snack for Avery tomorrow, so I thought that'd be a nice treat for her. Not the healthiest, but she deserves a treat like the rest of us. So Josh has already called me because he's seen a picture. He's already called me and told me that he wants to come home and eat the cake. So I've got a feeling this might end up being gone very, very soon. The weather is absolutely beautiful today. It's nice and sunny. So I actually spent the morning trying to get as much done as possible. So everything I would normally do throughout the day, I've got it done in the morning. So Avery has already been in her stander today. I kind of have bits for dinner prepped for this afternoon. All of her meds are already drawn up. So that we can try and get out this afternoon, get out into the sunshine. I may pop over to my brother and sister-in-law's house and maybe take Avery to the park. Josh has taken her already here, but I haven't, so I might just enjoy the sunshine, get her out of the house, take her to the park, hopefully keep her happy outside of the house for a little bit, just so she can get a little bit of vitamin D into her skin. Before I go though, there is something that I want to do. So I have a bit of leftover dough here. This is actually the sweet pastry dough that I used for my creme patisserie tart. However, what I noticed when I was eating the tart is it actually resembles biscuit quite a lot. And since tomorrow is Zach's very last day at primary school, I'm holding it together, guys, just about holding it together. Since this is the last day at primary school, I thought I would make him a big biscuit and maybe do a little bit of writing on it with some melted chocolate, just saying well done, congratulations. I mean, essentially it's kind of like graduation. He's graduating primary school, so I just wanted to do something special for him. So it's been defrosted because it was sitting in my freezer. It's literally just finished defrosting, so I thought I might just kind of roll it out now, get it into shape, and then pop it in the fridge until tomorrow. That way I'll bung it straight from fridge into the oven, and hopefully it might hold its shape because it's going into the oven really, really cold, and it should help relax the gluten quite a bit. So I'm gonna just roll this out now. It shouldn't take me too long, and then Avery and I will head out for a little bit. It's 7:30. I'm not even dressed yet. The kids aren't dressed yet. They're still downstairs having their breakfast. And the waterworks have already started. This is what I mean about the teachers just doing really sweet things. So I woke up this morning to a message on the platform that we use to kind of communicate with the school. And this is what it says. You are ready, year 6. It is time. Time for one last journey to school. Time for one last morning line up in the yard. Time for one last registration. Time for one last playtime. Time for one last meal in the dinner hall. Time for one last wander in the corridors. Time for one last day, everyone together. Time for one last goodbye to your teacher. Time to move on. Time for the next step. Time for new adventures. Time to look forward and not back. It is time. You are ready. It is time. We will miss you. I mean, it's happy tears as well as sad tears, you know. It's really bittersweet. Especially with your oldest growing up. But, oh, I hope I can make it through this day without just being a blubbering mess all day long. I'm just about to get ready for the day now, and then yeah, it will be one last school run, but I'm just about to get ready for the day now, and then yeah, it will be my last time taking Zach to primary school. I have pulled myself together a little bit. I shed a few tears when I dropped Zach off this morning, I'm not gonna lie. But it is currently 10 past 12, so I am going to be going to pick up the boys in less than an hour. They finish early today as it's the last day of term and the last day of the school year. What I really want to try and get done before I pick the boys up is finish off Zach's biscuit that I prepped for him yesterday. So it's been baked, so that is what it looks like. It's not actually biscuit, it's sweet pastry, so it's got a bit of more of a crumbly kind of texture, but it tastes sweet, and I'm gonna load it with chocolate anyway. It was basically just something I had in the freezer and I thought it'd be nice for him, so I really want to get that finished just before I go and get the boys, so that it's done and ready for him for when he gets home. I have just had a letter in the post, which I'm really pleased about. It's from his new secondary school, and I'll man up soon enough, guys. It's just, today's going to be emotional no matter what. But he has actually been enrolled onto they call it an Accelerate program. It's not kind of the word accelerate, it's Exceller and then the number 8. I thought it was quite cool how they did that. And basically what that means is all of Zach's lessons are going to be in one classroom with one teacher. So it is much more like a primary school setup, and it means that he doesn't have to navigate a ton of different classrooms, going from class to class to class. Lots of different faces every day, different teachers for every subject. I didn't even know about this until I had this letter in the post. I knew the school he was going to had a good reputation for ALN, so additional learning needs. I knew that, I had done my research, but I didn't really know much beyond that. I figured I would kind of just learn as kind of we went along and he settled into school. But now that I know that, I feel so much more at ease knowing that he's going to secondary school, because one of my biggest fears was him navigating it and then having to get used to so many different faces. So really pleased about that. But anyway, I really shouldn't be wasting my time talking right now. I need to get this done because I now have about 40 minutes until I have to go and pick the boys up. Here he is, my little primary school graduate. How was your very last day at primary school?
It was good, I guess.
Do you want a treat?
Treat what?
Do you want a treat?
Yeah, please. Come on, you didn't have to do it. Oh, thank you so much.
What do you think?
It looks nice.
Can you read what it says?
Eli.
No. That's a W.
Well done, Zach.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Yeah. I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry.
If you think Mummy's gonna cry, please subscribe.
Right, and here is my little year 3 graduate. So, boys, I think we're going to close this video off here and kickstart the summer holidays. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to close out my video?
I would love to.
Go on then.
Okay, I would like to say, guys, if you like this channel and you're new to this channel, please, I hope you like this YouTube video, and please subscribe. Yeah, so please smack that subscribe button and likes. And if you like stuff that we make, please click comments down below. Comments? Don't know.
You want to say bye?
Bye!
Bye guys, see you in the next one.